Hello and welcome. Today, I want to invite you to consider how it would feel if you knew what to expect after your treatment has ended, if you knew what the next steps were, if you knew what the path looked like, if you knew how you were supposed to feel and how long you could expect to feel that way. We're going to be talking about all of those things, plus, I want you to hang out with me to the end because I'm going to share with you how you can learn 3 secret things that you could be doing that could boost your recovery like a spaceship to the moon. Who doesn't want to know that? Because my mind was blown when I learned these secrets. Okay, I'm your host, Karen Del Maestro. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm a health coach, breast cancer thriver, and carrier of the BRCA2 gene. And today we're talking about what to expect after breast cancer treatment ends. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me here. So I remember so clearly, and I'm wondering if you do too, how you felt when you heard the words, "I'll see you in 3 months." Did it send you into a tailspin? Because it did for me. I remember sitting in my plastic surgeon's office. I was having after my breast reconstruction, and I remember her saying those exact words to me. And I remember that feeling that, boy, I think I'm supposed to be really happy about this. I think this is supposed to feel really, really good. But it didn't. And I was so confused by just that juxtaposition of knowing that I'm supposed to feel happy and jumping for joy and what I was actually feeling. And I'm wondering, and let me know if you were feeling or are feeling any of these things, because it can go on for a while. I was feeling absolutely bone tired, like really, really tired. I was feeling confused, alone. And if you're on live, say hi. Let me know if you're feeling any of these things. I was super emotional, like at the drop of a hat. I found myself just crying all the time. And more than anything, there was this underlying trepidation, right? Of what do I do now? Like my game plan was kind of decided for me with my medical team. What do I do now? What am I supposed to expect now? Like what happens? And I think this is a question that I get so frequently from pretty much all of the breast cancer survivors that I speak with. Because it's really, there isn't very much guidance depending on your medical team. And so that's where I wanted to step in, and especially to do this breast cancer conversation today. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining, my friend. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions on this, let me know as we go through, okay? So what I want you to know, first of all, is that whatever you're feeling is normal. And I remember, and I'm wondering, how much time have you been on Google looking for what happens now after breast cancer treatment's done? Am I supposed to feel this way? Is this normal? I remember asking all of those questions. And what I discovered is that all of this is so normal, but it's not talked about. And there's this expectation that as soon as we're done with treatment, that we go back to whatever our life was before. But guess what? We're not ready. What is not talked about is the fact that the next stage of recovery starts after treatment ends. And so what does that look like, right? That is a time when our actual emotional, mental, physical healing all begin. Because as we've gone through treatment, we've been just going, right, from one appointment to the next, to the next, to the next. And it was always like, whether it's surgery or chemo or radiation or whatever your treatment plan was, this applies to all of us. We all go through this, myself included. That's why it became such an aha moment to me was, well, if I'm feeling this way, then somebody else is too. So are you feeling confused? Are you feeling isolated? Are you feeling like nobody around you gets it? Nobody understands how you might be fearful of getting cancer again, fearful that what happens to my family if I'm not around, fearful of not being there for your loved ones, fearful of getting sick again, and how on earth you're going to cope emotionally, physically, financially if you do get sick again. These are all normal. These are all normal. And so the question becomes, do we stay in this place where we're feeling all of these emotions that are heavy, that are hard, that are confusing? Do we stay in this place, or do we try to do something about it? Now, I am a huge fan of doing something about it. I don't like to feel uncomfortable. I don't like to feel uncertain and unsure. Those are disconcerting feelings to me. And especially if we think about what's going on in the world right now, this is also triggering so much of that fear of uncertainty and the unknown for many of us. So what do we do? Well, the first thing I think is understanding how long this next stage can be expected to last. And it's not, and I wish it were, but it's not like, oh, you're done. No, it isn't. And I don't know if we're ever actually done, because going through cancer changes your life, right? Going through cancer changes your perspective on things, for the better as well as the worse. It's not always a bad thing. Right? We can find the good in this. In fact, silver linings queen over here. I'm always going to try and find the silver lining and the good and the lesson in any of the things that I go through in life. And I hope you're doing the same thing. And I'm here to help you do that, here to help you find those silver linings. But so let's talk about how long this next stage can be expected to last. Because what I think when we know that is it changes a couple of things. It changes, I think, the expectation that we put on ourselves to just bounce back. It eases up the expectation physically, right? And allows us to be more patient and allow ourselves some grace on not having the energy and not feeling ready for certain things, and not wanting to just jump back into everything the way it was. Helps us understand why we feel that way. And I don't know about you, maybe you can give me a thumbs up in the comments, but do you feel like when you know what to expect, things just feel easier? Does that feel easier for you? Give me a thumbs up. Because I know for me, just like when we got our treatment plan after our diagnosis, as soon as I had that treatment plan, I kind of went, oh, okay, all right, now I know what to expect. It's kind of the same thing with this. So this is why it's so important. And I'm going to be diving into even more depth on this topic in a free masterclass that I'm going to tell you about at the end of today's breast cancer conversations. Yeah, I'm getting some thumbs up here, right? When we know what to expect, we can take a little bit of a breath. So here's your formula, and no math degree needed for this. So don't panic, okay? So if we look at A is the date of your diagnosis, okay? B, the date of your last active treatment. So that would be a surgery, a chemotherapy, a radiation, anything like that. I don't include ongoing follow-ups. I don't include, for instance, I'm on letrozole for another 3 years. I don't include that. That's ongoing. And yes, there are repercussions with that, and there's adjustments with that and after that too. But so we've got A, your date of diagnosis, B, your date of your last active treatment. Okay, the distance between those is the length of time that you can expect this next stage to go on for. So to give you an example, my date of diagnosis was July 2018. My date of last active treatment, which for me was a surgery, was July of 2020. So I can expect this next stage to go on for 2 years. Now, would we want it to be quicker? Yeah, of course we would. But there are even things that affect our body for 10 years. And most of you are dealing with this particular thing that I'm talking about, and I will go into depth with this in the free masterclass, okay? This is one of those 3 little known secrets that I'm going to be sharing in that masterclass, and please make sure you sign up for it because it's life-altering, and this is something that goes on for 10 years. 10 years after any kind of breast cancer treatment. I learned this the other day, and my mind went, I knew it was something that most of us deal with now, and it's to do with your lymphatic system. But that is going to impact us for a long time to come. So again, this knowledge becomes power, right? When we know it, we know to look for it. We know to take action. We know to do certain things versus just sitting and feeling lost and unsure and uncertain, and maybe even like you're going a little nuts because the world is moving on around you and you're just feeling stagnant and stuck. I don't want you feeling like that. I want you to learn to thrive, and that begins with education. That begins with knowing what to expect on this next stage. Okay? So did you figure out your time period? If you did, pop it into the chat. Let me know if you're on live. What's your time frame that you can expect this next stage to last? Because I guarantee it's longer than you thought. So what does it mean? It means that, number one, we've got to be patient. We have to be patient. And just knowing this time frame helps us, right? It helps us understand, okay, my body needs to heal. My mind needs to heal. Emotionally, I need to heal. 18 months. I've got some answers coming in here. 18 months. Right. Much longer than we want, for sure. I get it. But when we know this, it allows us to be kinder and more compassionate to our body, right? It allows us to say, I understand you're still healing. Even showing yourself some love, right? Holding your heart, holding your breasts. I find myself doing this all the time, just putting my hands on my flat chest or holding my heart, right? And it's almost like that healing touch. Okay. Somebody's asking here, they didn't include the rest of reconstruction. Were you supposed to? Yeah, absolutely. Because any of your reconstructive surgeries are trauma to your body. My original time frame was a year, and then I ended up with the capsular contracture and breast implant illness, and then I had to undergo another surgery. So that now boosted up my time to 2 years. So instead of a year, it's now 2 years from that last surgery date. So yeah, we want to include any of our surgeries. Great questions here. Keep them coming in. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to put comments underneath, tag me wherever you're seeing this video. But yes, it allows us to know that our body is still healing and to grant it the space and the patience and the love that it deserves and the gratitude, right? For this vessel that's carrying us through this crazy, crazy journey that is challenging. No matter our treatment plan, this is a challenge. No matter where we are in the journey, it is a challenge. But you know what? You are strong and you are brave and you are courageous. And you're here with me right now, which tells me that you don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to be unsure. You want this information so that you can start to thrive. And yes, it might be slow. But aren't good things worth waiting for? And what we learn along the way about our body and what we need, and how so often we have to do things differently than we've done them before, doesn't mean that we failed. Doesn't mean that we did something wrong. It just means that we need something different now. And guess what? That happens in life anyway. Our bodies cycle every 6 months and need something different. And yet, how often do we just do the same things every day for years and years and years? What this journey does is it allows us to start being really aware of how we feel physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of those things, and really tap into what do we need. And I really want you to honor that as you're going into this next stage, no matter how long it is. I want you to really honor what your body needs because it's telling you. So it might be saying, hey, I'm tired. I need to rest. I want you to ask yourself, do you keep pushing? Do you keep pushing through? Do you just ignore it and suck it up and push it down? Or do you show your body the love that it needs and say, okay, I need to rest right now. I need to rest. Because this is going to help with the healing. This is going to help boost the healing. Now, 3 of the little known actions that we can take to really boost our healing are, and I will go into more detail on them, and I will be diving deeper on this whole thing here with some really concise tips and tools for you to use as you're navigating this next stage. I'll be going into that so much deeper on the masterclass. So please, please, please join me there. But what most of us don't know is that there are cancer rehab programs. Most likely, there's one at your hospital where you had your surgeries, and they have so many things available to us I did not know about. I did not know about. And it has been life-altering for me. From therapy to occupational therapy, getting range of motion back, dealing with lymphatic drainage, getting you back to functional movement. I don't know about you. I couldn't reach the top shelf in my kitchen. I've had 6 breast surgeries. So all across here was tight. All across here was swollen, lots of lymphatic drainage going on. And when our lymph system is moving slowly, can you imagine how we feel? Yeah, we're feeling bloated. Talk about that belly weight that so many of us gain, right? We talk about Buddha belly. Well, so much of that is also coming from this lymphatic drainage issue. And I'll be giving you tips on that in the masterclass. But, and like I said before, this can go on for up to 10 years. So we need these tips. We need these tools to know how to aid our body to boost our recovery, to get vibrant again, to get energy and vibrancy and joy and feel inspired again in our lives instead of tired and feeling like we're a burden and like we don't ask for more help, even though secretly we want it so badly. But we still need the help. And we need to learn how to still do that while also not feeling like we're letting everybody else down. It's finding this new rhythm, right? And this new balance. You may relate to it as balance. I like to use the word rhythm because I feel like it's more fluid and it flows a little bit more. And I feel like when we go through this journey, we kind of need to flow, right? But you may also be dealing with grief. You may also be thinking about the body that you used to have, or the life that you used to have, or the woman that you used to feel like. But my question to you is, why can't you be more than that? Why can't you be happier than that? Why can't you feel more confident and empowered and sexy? I went through this strangest experience. I had breast reconstruction and I had implants, and I never felt comfortable with them, to be honest with you. I never felt like they were part of me. They felt very foreign. They were very cold. I would bump into things because I couldn't feel them. And I just never felt like they were part of me. And when I removed them, I went flat, and I don't have that perfectly flat body that you sometimes see. I've got some bumps, and my chest bone actually sticks out and protrudes, and then I'm a little concave where my breasts were. So my body is scarred and bizarre looking and all of those things yet. And this is the thing that's kind of confusing. I feel sexier and more confident than I have in the past couple of years. And I want that for you. And it doesn't matter if you have one boob or no boobs or a reconstruction. That confidence comes from feeling empowered within, and empowered on what this next stage looks like, empowered on what you can expect with upcoming appointments, and what rehab might look like for you, and what to eat to reduce your risk of recurrence, how to cope with the fear of getting it again so that you're not feeling paralyzed and afraid to do anything. These are all normal. These are all the reality of how we might feel after treatment has ended. So I want you to know you are not alone. You are not alone. And for those of you that are in the Healthy Living After Breast Cancer community, I think you already know that. And I think that you know that it's a safe place to discuss these things and to reach out to me if you're struggling with any of it, because I'm here to support you. For those of you that are watching this that aren't in this amazing community yet, please come on in and join us. We continue these conversations, sometimes before, sometimes after the breast cancer conversations, just depends on the week. But it's an amazing group of phenomenal women who are looking to thrive, who don't want to stay stuck, who don't want to stay exhausted, and who are looking to enjoy life after this trauma. It's a trauma that you've been through, that your body has been through, that your mind has been through. So what I want you to know today is that everything you're feeling is normal. You now know how long you can expect this next stage of recovery to last. Doesn't mean you're going to stay exactly the same as you are today, especially if you join me on this masterclass, because I'm going to give you tools to start moving through it and to boost your recovery. Like, ta-da! Boost your immune system, get you strong, get you healthy, and reduce this risk of getting it again. But if we don't do anything, that's increasing the chances of getting it again. Makes sense, right? We have to take action. If we don't change, nothing changes. We're going to feel like this. That means we have to start doing things differently. That means that sometimes we need to shift our mindset, focusing on us first. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I was the people pleaser. I was the woman that did everything for everybody else. I've now learned, and this breast cancer journey has really enforced this learning. And what it's done for me is really enforced how simple taking care of us can be. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be time consuming. It can be simply rethinking what we're already doing with an intention of making it self-care. Something as simple as stepping outside and taking 10 breaths and being present, listening. What's going on? How does the air feel? Being grateful for the fact that you're here to take those breaths today. That then is an act of self-care. That then is an act of taking care of you first. Doesn't cost anything. It's not time consuming, and it's easy. Don't need special qualifications. Don't need a special setup. Don't need anything. Does that make sense? So looking at where in your day you can make something that you're already doing into an act of self-care. Any ideas like popping into your head? If you're on live and you want to share, feel free in the chat. I'd love to know. But if we don't take care of us first, if we go back to taking care of everybody else in our lives and putting everybody's needs before us, we're not going to be able to recover. We're not going to be able to recoup, because what we're putting out is more than we're bringing in. Right? We've got to, you hear, if you're familiar with me and you've hung out with me for a while, you're familiar with my teapot analogy. It's the Brit in me coming out. We're the teapot, and everybody else that we give to are the other cups. And if we're pouring into everybody else's cup, but we're not refilling the teapot gets dry and we don't have it anymore. Right? Makes sense. So we've got to be refilling our cup. And I love this. Sabrina's going to make some golden milk this afternoon. Oh, awesome. Turmeric, black pepper, like super good for you. Super good. Anti-inflammatory, helping with the gut, helping with inflammation. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. What kind of milk are you going to use in it, Sabrina? I love to use, I used to use coconut milk in mine, and then I realized that my body's not a huge fan of coconut milk. I don't know, just realized that my stomach was a little wobbly, let's say, afterwards. Nothing drastic, just an awareness. So I switched to using oat milk for mine. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's tweaking it to make it work for us. That's everything I do. Everything I teach is this way. Sabrina's going to use almond milk. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let me know later on how you enjoy it. I'd love to know. I've been making a new drink called mud water. And it is, and I can't remember everything that's in it. I don't have it with me. But it's cacao and it's lots of mushrooms. There may even be turmeric in it too. But it's wonderful. It's almost like a healthy hot chocolate. And I make it with oat milk and I whisk it up. An act of self-care. Right? Giving myself, or like just like Sabrina's doing, the gift of an anti-inflammatory drink. Is it hard? No. But it takes thought and it takes intention. And this is how we go from feeling stuck and stagnant to thriving. We've got to do something with intention. We've got to have a game plan, just like we did with treatment. That's what we need afterwards. I will be giving you that game plan in the masterclass, What to Expect After Breast Cancer Treatment Ends. I'll be putting the link under this video. So please, please, please join me. Any questions, guys, for anybody that's on live here today about what to expect after breast cancer treatment ends? I love it when people are on live with me because I get to chat and it's not, I'm not just looking at the computer. So thank you guys for taking the time today and joining me live and chatting with me. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So I hope it was helpful to understand the length of time that this next stage of recovery can last. It's not a perfect science, but I think it allows us to really give ourselves some space and grace and some time to process some time to sit with our emotions, some time to say, okay, I understand now why I'm not able to be as physical as I used to be yet. One of my favorite words. Opens the door to possibility time after time after time, right? We may not be able to interact with the family quite the way that we were yet. We may not be feeling sexy and confident in our bodies yet. But if we don't open the door for that possibility, then it's never going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to recap the time frame quickly here. I'm seeing that a couple of people have missed it. So the time frame for this next stage of recovery, it goes from A, your date of diagnosis. I'll be recapping this again in the webinar also, in case people don't see this video and they're joining for the first time. So A is your date of diagnosis. B is the date of your last active treatment. That means a surgery, a chemo, a radiation. I do not include ongoing medications. So if you're on medication for a period of 5 years or 10 years, yes, I want you to understand that your body is not going to feel the way it was beforehand while you're on these medications. They all have side effects. Most breast cancer treatments are throwing us into menopause. That's the side effect of pretty much across the board. So again, these are normal things to be feeling. And so if we're going from A, date of diagnosis, B, date of last active treatment, that time frame in between is the length of time that you can expect this next stage of recovery to last. So for an example, my date of diagnosis was July 2018. My date of my last surgery, July 2020. 2-year span. Mine's super easy to figure out. 2-year span. So I can expect my next stage of recovery to last for 2 years. Longer than we want it to be. I acknowledge that, for sure. But what that allows me to think is that, okay, all right, I mean, it's okay for me to be slower. I'm still in this next stage. It's okay to be tired. I'm still in this next stage. It's okay to not have range of motion back yet. I'm still in this next stage. But knowing that I'm actively working on all of those things, removing inflammation, boosting immune system, balancing out hormones, right? All of those are going to help me and in turn help you because I share everything that I know and learn. And I've been in health and wellness for 20 years. So there's a lot of tips and tricks that I get to share with you that you may not know because I'm coming from the inside. So you get the benefit of all of that. And that's what I help you do. So today we talked about what to expect, okay, what you might be feeling, how long you might be feeling, what's normal, right? And also just a sneak peek of what you're going to learn more about on the free masterclass, what to expect after breast cancer treatment ends. I'm going to dive more into these 3 little known secrets that really help boost your recovery. And I know because I have been doing them. And I did not know. It was one person said something to me, and that sent me off on this research binge to say, okay, let me look more into this. I'm going to be sharing those secrets with you on the masterclass. Okay, so I hope you can join. If you can't make the date, sign up anyway, you'll get the replay. Okay, so, and then you can also watch it in snippets if you want to or whatever, but I hope you'll be able to join live. I'll put the link where you'll get all the details and the link to sign up. Everything will be underneath this this video. So before we close up today, any questions right now that I can help you guys with what to expect in this next stage. This is just the beginning of this conversation. It is a longer topic for sure. But I'm in the middle of developing a course that is going to really dive in. The masterclass is on November 18th. This particular one, it will be repeated at other times. So if you're watching this later on and November 18th is already passed, don't panic. Click the link anyway, and I will be doing many more of these classes, these live master classes. So, but this first one is going to be November 18th. And like I said, I will put a link and you can get all the details and sign up. You can sign up today, save your spot. And I look forward to seeing you there, answering more questions, giving you more information, more tools to navigate this next step, because you don't need to go it alone. And I know it can feel incredibly isolating, right? No matter how supportive our support system is, no matter the people that we have around us. The class is going to be at, and now you're testing my brain, guys, come on. It is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Okay, like I said, you'll get all the details on the when you click on the link that I'm going to pop up shortly. Well, you guys are testing me today. Do you guys have that too, right? Where your brain just doesn't work? Yeah, one of those breast cancer side effects for sure. But we all do the best that we can, right? And if we can't laugh about it, then what are we going to do? Don't beat yourself up on it, guys. We've got to laugh. We've got to laugh when this happens. So, like I said, you're not alone. You are not in this alone. You always have somewhere to go. You always have somebody that gets it and understands. And like I said, as I learn these little secrets and these little snippets, I want you to know I always try it out first because I want to know how it feels and how it works. Oh, thank you. Thank you for making me feel better. Somebody just put in the chat that I'm not alone. Chemo brain is real. And it's not just chemo. This is the thing. I was very lucky and did not have chemotherapy. But at 6 surgeries and all of those anesthesias and all of the trauma and the crisis and all of that all still affects our brain power. Oh, thank you, love. Sabrina, I am thankful for you and for all of the people on this call today and all of the people watching, because get emotional. We are in this together. We have been through a journey that is hard, and we don't need to feel isolated and we don't need to feel alone, because there is support. And it's not just me. There's support from a community. And we need to be able to have these real and these raw conversations, because if we can't do it in these safe spaces, we're going to be holding it in and stewing on it and wondering about it. And that affects our health. And anything that negatively affects our health, you got it, increases our risk for recurrence. Nope, not doing that. Not doing that. So, as I always say, there's never a silly question, nothing stupid, nothing, trust me. I've been asked questions on pretty much everything imaginable, and they're all valid. They're all valid. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me for the conversation and the interaction. I love it when we get to chat and not me just be speaking with a computer. And I hope to see you all on the masterclass. I'll be putting the link underneath. And thank you so much. Bye for now, guys. Have an amazing day. Grant yourself the grace and the space that you need to navigate this next stage. Okay? Bye for now. I'll see you soon.